Hi everyone, welcome to our new podcast. Today we are excited to welcome Athira, who's a financial crime risk investigator in one of Canada's biggest banks. Athira's journey into the world of financial crime risk management is very inspiring and insightful, especially for professionals who are looking to break into this highly competitive Canadian banking industry. From navigating career decisions to securing a role as a financial crime risk, her story reflects resilience, strategy, and strong commitment to growth. In an industry where precision, analytical thinking, and integrity matters a lot, Athira has carved out a space for herself in a field that plays a critical role in protecting Canada's financial system. In today's conversation, we'll explore how she landed this role, the challenges she faced, the strategies that worked, and the lessons she learned along the way. With that, Athira, welcome to our podcast. We are so glad to have you here. And with that, maybe we'll start with your early journey of your background, your childhood, what you did, and then the years that before you got into the current role you are in.
Thank you so much, Anuj. Thank you for inviting. I'm glad to be here. How my journey started. So I grew up in Abu Dhabi. I did my schooling in Abu Dhabi till my 12th grade, and then moved to Chennai to do my 3 years of graduation in banking and insurance. I did BCom bank management, and then I moved back to UAE, where so my parents were settled there. So I took up a role of in the treasury department, the finance sector of Abu Dhabi Motors. It's called. So they were dealers of BMW and Rolls Royce in Abu Dhabi. That was the start of my career. It was more like an accountant, finance role, not customer facing, just the back end job of finance.
Okay.
More like transactions, foreign transactions of payments, receivables, tallying, everything. So that was my first role. I did it for 3.5 years, but I just felt it was very redundant for me.
Okay.
I'm someone who likes to interact with people, probably talk to someone. So this is more like a very relaxed job.
So mostly accounting.
Mostly
aspects.
accounting, yeah.
Aspects, yeah.
So that's when, since my specialization was banking and insurance, I wanted to try my feet in insurance. So then I started trying to explore jobs in insurance sector. My dad had a service center which worked along with insurance companies. So auto claims, that was something that I was familiar with.
Okay.
So I was able to find a job in an insurance companies as a claims investigator, claims examiner. That would be the role. I did that for 3.5 years. So that was more into, let's say if you met with an accident or your car met with an accident, when you go to an insurance company, we do the processing of claims. So like from start till you finish the repairing of your car, we will be navigating through all the process. So I did A to Z of claims management for 3.5 years. That was also close to my current role, which is very compliance focused, risk focused, also loss prevention, right? So, and after that, 3.5 years in that role, I used to work along with other departments like business development, marketing. So that I felt like we have a lot of data when it's claims. Data is more like what are the kind of cars that has most accidents, what location do we have more accidents. So that's when analytics came into picture. So that is my curiosity to learn how I can use this data that we have to make better business decisions, right? And also I was part of different roles, like when there was a software migration, I was one of the person representing the claim side of business. So it helped me to kind of have a understanding of how data works and how analytics helps to make better business choices. So that curiosity, along with a plan to move to Canada. I was not able to meet the points to come to Canada for PR. So that's
like
when,
many immigrants.
yeah. So I think one of the best option was to study. So I was wanted to pursue higher education, and then business analytics was something I was keen on then. I chose this course in Centennial College.
The one in Toronto, GTA,
GTA.
essentially.
So I came for a year course. So I had 8 months of program with 4 months of internship. The course that I did in Centennial College here was marketing, research, analytics. It was a good course. It has a blend of marketing plus data, like data management, project management. So it's a beautiful course. If you're coming to study, the best course you can get your hands on. It was intense course as well. Like some students come here, I can do part-time as well as studies, but for me, I had course the 5 days. So
Okay.
maybe a part-time job was like not much possible for me. I did not study, and I always joke about this. That is, me and COVID came to Canada together.
Okay.
So my initial 5 years. So I came in 2019 December.
2019 December. Okay.
So COVID was like, I think
2020
March.
March.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I actually went to college only for 2 months,
Okay.
and then
Everything
it was
was
all
remote?
online.
Okay.
Yeah. So I was like the first batches of online education in the COVID times, right?
Okay.
So I graduated that year. Almost 6 months of my course was online.
Okay.
So it was like a big transition for me.
Okay.
It was like fully indoor. I never explored Canada when I came because of the whole COVID and lockdown.
Okay.
And graduated at the peak of COVID. That was in 2021 January. I graduated. I did do like a 4 months of internship with a company here in marketing. So I understood that marketing was not really my thing.
Okay.
So I moved back to my finance and compliance related job search.
Okay.
So
How many months did it take before your first job in Canada? Per se, any challenges that you faced as an immigrant here?
So my first job, so 8 months of my
Express,
course, I did not do any job.
Okay.
But on my 9th month when I graduated, or like how I would say, I did my internship and my first part-time job together. That was like from September 2020
Okay.
till September 2021. That is like my 1 year of part-time job. Half the time it was locked down or shut down, so didn't have to work much, but I was in the payroll. To be honest, I had a roommate who challenged me that you should get a part-time job in a week. And for some reason, I got it in a week.
Okay.
I still don't know how. But I applied for job. So the 1 week challenge, the first 2 days, I printed my CV and I was out with one of my friends giving out my resume in different places. All of them
And
told
this was
me
for part-time or the full-time?
part-time.
Okay.
Because then I could only do part-time because I was still studying.
So you could do like 20 hours or 40 hours?
20 to 25 hours.
20 to 25
Yeah, I think there was a thing you can do 40 hours
40 hours.
during
Okay.
COVID.
Okay.
There was like different laws that came in. But I was only in like 20, 25 hours a week. So most of them said the feedback was to apply online on their website or portal. So I started applying online, and for some reason I got a call from one of the part-time places, and I interviewed and they hired me.
Okay.
So within a week I already started my job. I was a cashier in a retail store.
Okay.
So what else? Like, where were we? Like on Then I graduated in January.
Yeah.
And then for almost 7 months I didn't find job.
Oh wow.
Yeah, my part-time job was
It was
enough
still there.
enough to sustain life. But that 7 months, I questioned my choices, my confidence, my self-esteem.
Everything went down the drain.
Yeah. It just tested my patience.
Yes.
It was
Because you're coming in with a lot of experience from Middle East or Abu Dhabi. And from banking, you've done accounting. And now you're here, you're still struggling to find your first
a job, right?
Yeah.
So it was challenging because there would be people who would poke you as well, because it's also criticism, right? Oh, did you leave all that to become a cashier here? Did you leave all that to not find job? Like, if you can't do it, who can do it? Those kind of questions, which is also like, it hits you because you're also going through a difficult time. But I think one thing that kept me motivated was keeping in touch with people who I graduated with, because everyone's going through the same journey.
Choice,
So it's like when you make a decision, you don't want to just go with your gut feeling or what you're, you're in an emotionally vulnerable place. So you don't want to make random decisions.
Okay.
So what I did was I used to keep in touch with most of my friends who graduated together. Some of them were still struggling. Some of them got jobs. So how did you get it? Talking to them. Like sometimes when you feel low, people in the same place
so
as
it helps you.
Yeah. Because someone who is doing a good job, you go talk to them, it can actually put you down more than motivate you. It depends from person to person. But for me, I used to connect with peers who actually helped me, and some of them even like helped me. Okay, I did this interview. These were the questions I asked. So preparing yourself.
Okay. So being ready for that.
Yeah.
Interview or whatever beforehand by talking to a lot of people and also networking at the same time so that you can get some referrals to these banks. So how did you land your first role at a major Canadian bank?
So my first role was a customer specialist role for
Okay.
credit cards. I got the job with CIBC.
How did that
So
process work out?
that was through one of my own classmates.
Okay.
She was working for CIBC, and it's just that when I applied for the role, she was the only one who was working. So I asked her, "Can I give you a referral?" And she was more than happy to help me. And she did give me oh, for interviews, these are some of the questions that you might get. Prepare yourself. So I kind of took her guidance and I did my preparation. And it so happened that during the interview, the lady who was interviewing me, she gave me the job on the call.
Okay.
And within, I think they had like some security clearance and all that, and then
That was your first entry point
yeah.
to a Canadian bank job.
So, after 7 months, when you get a job, it's big, regardless of
what job it is.
So that's what happened. So when I joined the job, right, so then I was so happy that I got the job. But a month into the job, so I'm someone who took the risk of just doing one course during...
Which means you only had 1 year stay back,
1 year,
right?
and I had 1 year, 4 months of stay back. So... It was like...
So that's your timeline to get application for your Canadian permanent residency and everything, right? So you only have that window to make that cut. Okay.
Yeah, so it was like a very
big risk move. Or you should have done a 2-year course.
2 year, yeah. Most of the people take 2 years of program so that you get a 3 months buffer, right?
But 3 years stay back.
3 years, yeah. 3 years buffer to kind of like figure things out. But I had like wasted... Usually people get 6 months of time to get their work permit. For some reason, when I applied, I got it in 15 days. I didn't want it that fast, but I got it. So it was like I had 1 year, 4 months. And I got the job after 4 months. So from the time I started, 1 year is exactly when my work permit will end. So I didn't have much of a choice, but when I joined a month later, I realized that this is not like NOC B or NOC A.
Okay.
Which is like a...
Oh, which is a requirement for the points. Okay.
So it was like, it could be a B, it could be a C too.
Okay.
So then I had to kind of like pivot to a different role, which is a NOC B.
Okay.
Again, so this is also another classmate of mine who then worked for the bank TD.
Okay.
So they had this role they were hiring for. She asked me, hey, there's this role, do you want to apply? And it was a like insurance advisor role.
Okay.
Which is a NOC B because it needs a license to practice. So it's like...
what is the license called?
It's called... other than life, it's called OTL.
Okay.
So we have to get that license. So she said, why don't you apply? Try your luck. So I applied for the role. So then I had the job in CIBC and I applied for TD.
The TD role.
And for like, it was just the grace of God, I got the role.
Okay.
So 3 months into CIBC role, I moved to TD. Because that was
Again, this was a referral, right? But you got an interview just because there was a referral. Then the manager liked you.
Yeah.
And
so the interview was pretty straightforward because they were hiring in March. So it was easier to get in. But then it was a conditional offer.
Okay.
It comes with the risk of if you
don't
clear
pass the exam, then you lose the job. Okay.
So it was a risk then, but then since
I
had a
you
background,
need the NOC B job as well.
Yeah, so I had to.
So the target at that point is getting the permanent residency and the NOC B job so that the points are met for.
Okay. So what happened was I took the role, and then since I had a background of insurance, like 3 years of 3.5 years of claims, and I knew the terms, I knew how it works. It was relatively easy for me to clear that exam. I wouldn't say it was like an easy exam. But it was doable for me. So I cleared the exam in December. I joined. January I cleared the exam. Then my journey started in TD. For a year, I worked as an insurance advisor. December the same year, I hit my 1 year.
Okay.
And January, I got my invitation to apply for permanent residency.
Okay, congratulations on that. Yeah.
And then I got my PR the same year. In 6-7 months, I got my permanent residency. So in between, there were like COVID worked in my favor. So there was like so many rules that was extension for work permit for temporary work permit holders, which helped me to extend my work permit. So it helped me to kind of like my PR journey was not as tough as a lot of people here. But it just worked in my favor.
Okay, that's cool. So what happened at TD?
At TD?
Yeah.
Nothing happened, right? I did my 2 years. As I completed my 2 years with TD as an insurance advisor, I got my PR, and I also got a new job within TD. So when I was doing the insurance advisor role, that was also my time to kind of discover what I want to do next. Because now that the PR thing is kind of like done, so now I wanted to do into what I want to do next. So I did my research. I used to look up for different opportunities.
Okay.
So if it's within TD, I wanted to do more compliance risk focused roles, because that was my previous roles as well, which was more risk inclined.
Okay.
So I wanted to get into something closer to compliance. So I was in TD insurance.
Okay.
So to get closer to the banking side of things, there was an internal opportunity which was to be like for real estate secured lending, which is like mortgages, refinances. I was handling compliance or regulatory requirements alignment to it. So like if someone submits a document for getting a mortgage. If you're buying a new house, I would get the application, check through like your income, who are the applicants, like if there's any fraud or anything.
So you check all the transactions.
Yeah, so if you're gonna buy, like where is the down payment coming from, where's the money coming from? So if you should have, like, we need history, we need to check everything.
So basically, when somebody goes to the bank and apply for it, you submit all your documents, and these documents essentially get reviewed by another team that was your team essentially.
Yeah. So if it's okay, then good. If you need additional documents before it goes into like, so it depends on the value, but then before it goes to like a higher risk manager or like underwriter, we'll do like a review of do we have everything that is required or no. And if there's like large transactions, we would check like where is the source. We would ask for history. If like suddenly there's a huge amount, where did it come from? So that is the turning point for me. So this role was closer to what I was looking for. And I used to do coffee chats with a lot of people internally, externally. So every time I know someone who is doing a similar role that I am looking at, I would reach out to them. Sometimes on LinkedIn. Sometimes it's like I go for a party or a get together, I meet someone, I would ask them, like I would talk to them. So it's not like I want to be in that person's position, but I'm trying to understand, would I fit in there? Like, would I want to do that? That is what I was looking for. And it's more like people say networking is a thing, but it's also, I was someone who was always looking at what is my risk threshold? Like, what can I do? Will I be happy there? Like, just another role is not
would not help, right, long term.
So in the long run, so this role was really, like, I would say this was a very important role that I did in the real estate secured lending, which helped me to kind of understand, I like it. Like, it's a job that I would love to do. So I was an analyst. They say analyst is the keyword these days, but it helped me to understand that, okay, maybe I want to go into financial crime risk, because it was a part of my job. But, you know, when we have some large transactions, we would escalate it to the AML team. And I used to always wonder, like, what are they doing after that, right? Sometimes money coming from sanctioned countries or high risk countries, we would flag it. If there's forged documents, we would flag it. It would go to the fraud team. So I wanted to know more about AML. I used to do coffee chats with a lot of people. There was this one person who actually told me, if you're very serious about this role, why don't you get yourself certified? Because when you get certified, you have an upper edge over the rest of the candidates.
So that helped you stand out, essentially. And
also,
what is this certification?
So the certification that I did.
So that's specific to AML, anti-money laundering. Can you define to the audience, like, what does AML mean? Like,
anti-money laundering is, so what the certification I did is CAMS, which is Certified Anti-Money Laundering Specialist. So it's a gold standard certification when it comes to the AML world. So it's a big, like, once you get in, you'll know it is not just anti-money laundering. It's a big world. More like if you're handling high risk clients from high risk jurisdictions, there's like certain regulatory requirements. There's sanctions. We need to, like, there are a lot of regulatory requirement for it. And also if it's European Union, if it's USA, like different. It's more like a regulatory, like I would say they're like the police, but they're not going to come and tell you you're wrong.
Okay.
But like this is the requirement, so you just want to make sure you're within the framework.
Of that.
Yeah,
requirement.
so
Okay.
that's what it's more about. It's big, but then I am right now as I just joined as an investigator in TD within TD. So one of the reasons that I got in was CAM certification, and I don't have like core AML investigative experience, but one of the key skills that they look for is you should have attention to detail. You need writing skills because it's more analytical, but if you're going to be okay with a case,
Yeah.
you
have to
need to have
communicate
a
well.
write up for it, like because of these reasons you can retain the client, or you have to close the account, or like these are
So the decision making is there, but the communication is key in terms of the write-up.
exactly. And it's always growth, because if it's very very routine, every day the same thing, I'm a person, I would get bored.
Okay.
But this is, every case is different, every case is a learning opportunity. It's also something which helps you to keep up to date with news, what's happening around the world. So it's an active job.
Okay. So more or less, this is something that you're enjoying, and you don't mind doing it long term.
Yeah, because it's more, you're working with law enforcement, or it helps you to be safe at the same time. It's not like a check mark, but you are actually in the forefront, helping people, or maybe
Providing
stopping
real
financial
value-
crimes in a way.
Okay.
Yeah.
What does the career ladder look like for a crime risk, financial crime risk investigator?
So career, it could be like if you're a junior investigator, you can move into like a senior investigator or senior manager. So there's like different sides of like, so I'm right now in high risk clients or enhanced due diligence team, but there's also politically exposed persons team. There's insider risk, which is, there are like different teams that you can be a part of. So if you don't want to be in the investigative part of things, you can also get into like training people who, you can train people who are newly coming in, or periodical training, mentoring. Also the technology side of things. So when you are aware of the regulatory requirements, and there's always changes, right? Because
how can you bring in automation to such fields, right?
So there's also like BA roles within the so we are like FCRM department, so it's more like you can get into technology side of things. So there's like a lot of things, a lot of area, but within the department. So
nice. And what is the salary range someone can expect for this role? Like typically from entry level, mid level, and then going to senior. Like what is the range of salary that typically you can expect?
Yeah, like from my understanding, I think a junior level can always start from maybe 55 to 60,000 above is the starting for the role. And of course, high can
as
be,
you go up, it can go up to like 200K, right?
Maybe
like
it depends
depending
on the type
your
of
level.
the role that you get in.
Okay. Without sharing any confidential details, any interesting case that you can share with the audience here?
So at this point of time, I'm a very new investigator.
So maybe in the next episode we'll have more stories.
I'm very new to share anything, but like there are definitely a lot of interesting experiences. But yeah.
All right. What was some of the biggest mistake you made early in your career, if you can think of any from the past?
I would love to say I didn't make any mistakes, but I think in the early years of my career, it was more like getting a job, right? Never thought of how it would add value to me, or like would my work matter is something I never thought of. But coming here and also like moving here, I realized that like having a designation of maybe a senior manager or like a manager, I used to feel, oh, that is where you have to be or want to be. But then after moving to Canada, I would say that titles didn't matter to me, but the kind of work that you do, it does matter to me right now. So I feel the current role and my previous role is something I feel, in a way, I am someone who is stopping crime or stopping fraud, because I could be a victim, or even my friend or my family could be a victim. And if I'm in the backside, the other side of the business, and I'm willing to do it with due diligence, I think that's in my way of contributing to the world, right?
Absolutely.
So it makes a difference. Yeah.
Okay. So maybe some advice for aspiring professionals in this field
in this field.
In this field specifically, if someone wants in Canada to break into the field you're in right now, where should they start? And what certifications you would recommend? And is this a future-proof career with AI evolving?
Yeah. I think crime and fraud, it's always a trending, right? Because crime, like as AI is getting more used, there's always higher chances of fraud and crime, and it's more important that we stay updated. So one thing, if you're someone who likes to, so I'm someone who loves watching documentary, crime series, like always investigative. That is probably a nature that I have. But there are people who would watch it and feel overwhelmed as well, because the kind of cases that you might handle is also very sensitive. At the same time, it can also trigger you in different ways.
Got it.
So if you are someone that's strong to take it, then go for it.
Yeah, got it.
But if you're like a very sensitive, like, I'm not saying if you're
maybe consider a different
consider
career.
like, you don't want to get overwhelmed with like reading stuff or like knowing about things. But one thing is, if you want to get into the field, I did ACAMS. So it's a little expensive, as well as it's a lot. But for starters, there are like small courses. Maybe try to explore that. It'll help you to understand, like, do I really want to be in or no? And then your writing skill matters, and your willingness to learn, because it's like you're a doctor. Every 3 years, the certificate has to be renewed. So to renew that certificate, you need to have certain number of hours that you have done in continuous education. There is always a higher, like if you are in the industry, you do have like advanced certification. So for CAMS, and there's advanced CAMS, and there's audit. So these are like things that you can get into in future. So 3 things mainly for the role is willingness to grow, to learn, and keep updated. Second thing is, for the role you need to have like attention to detail and analytical skills.
Got it.
So yeah.
Okay. No, thank you so much. So
Out of questions.
I'm out of questions now. I think last but not the least, I would like to thank you for joining us today on this podcast again. Your journey, as I mentioned at the start, very inspiring journey from where she has come from. She started with BCom, specialization in banking and insurance, and had years of experience in Middle East before she took the leap of faith to come to Canada. Did a marketing analytics course. There was a risk on, if she would get a PR or would be able to stay in Canada, but somehow everything sorted out in between COVID, and she, kept striving to get that first job. She found it, and then, through reference, networking, interviews, she was able to crack it, and finally got into a role that she really feels that she can make an impact, real world impact. And we're really proud to see where you are today. And thank you so much for joining us today for these conversations. And maybe in a second episode, we'll get into the details of interesting stories from financial crime risk investigation, if she can share.
Sure.
Thank you so much.
It was a pleasure being here. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Take care. Bye.